Welcome to Sporting News College Basketball Power Rankings. Well, first of all, Charles Barkley voice. This is not the AP Top 25 poll or an analysis of it. As much as we sought to review each team's resume up to this point, we also sought to project how they might fare, given their history and upcoming schedule, over the course of the next week and beyond. More fix for Duke's defensive issues. Simple, but not easy. So, for example, if you're looking for Kentucky, you won't see it listed in our Top 25 rankings. What have the Wildcats done other than blow out Louisville and barely beat a sliding Texas A&M squad? Well, wait, they have a couple road games this week before they face Florida, and a big road matchup against West Virginia on January 27th to show us who they really are. And, sure, Duke is 7th in the ACC right now and struggling on defense, but we see that loaded roster turning things around real quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, that's reflected in our power rankings with the Blue Devils in the top 5. Get it? Good. Let's check out Sporting News College Basketball Power Rankings. College Basketball Power Rankings 25. Florida 11-4, 3-0. The Gators jumped out to a 5-0 record, including an impressive double overtime win against defending national runner-up Gonzaga, before dropping 4 of their next 5. One of those came at home against Loyola Chicago. However, since then Florida has won 7 of 8, knocking off Cincinnati and Texas A&M. Its lone loss during the stretch came against Clemson, one of the most surprising teams in the country, 24. Florida State 12-4, 1-3. The Seminoles have only played .500 ball during their last 6 games, losing 3 of their last 4. But they nearly went into Durham and downed Duke on December 30th in the first of 3 straight games against ranked opponents. A 1-point win against defending national champion North Carolina, a strong showing on the road against Miami, and a tough loss against Louisville should have the ACC's third highest scoring team 83.6 ppg primed to start a winning streak, beginning with Saturday's matchup against Syracuse 23. Notre Dame 13-4, 3-1. The Fighting Irish will have to go all the way to March without the services of SN preseason All-American Bonzie Colson, who leads the team in points 21.4, rebounds 10.4 and blocks 2.4 per game. He suffered a broken foot just 1 game into their ACC slate. But Notre Dame seems to have regrouped nicely with wins against North Carolina State and Syracuse, before a defeat at Georgia Tech on Wednesday to snap a 5-game winning streak, 22. UCLA 12-4, 3-1. Just like we all thought, after a season-opening trip to China that resulted in the indefinite suspensions of 3 key freshmen Jalen Hill, Cody Riley and LiAngelo Ball, following a shoplifting incident that became international news, the Bruins are sitting pretty atop the Pac-12 standings. More, Texas pays tribute to player diagnosed with leukemia following 2 OT win. They're averaging 107 points per in their last 2 contests, heading into a 2-game homestand against Utah and Colorado on Thursday and Saturday. Their success is in large part due to the play of junior Aaron Holiday, whose breakout averages of 19.4 points and 5.3 assists per game lead the team, 21. Gonzaga 14-3, 4-0. The Bulldogs went just 1-2 against ranked competition in non-conference play, but have looked their typical dominant selves, winning each of their first 4 West Coast Conference games by an average of 32.7 points while scoring 89 points per game. With 7 players putting up at least 8 points per game, Gonzaga's balanced scoring attack should ensure their consistency the rest of the way. 20. Kansas 13-3, 3-1. Kansas' degree of difficulty makes it one of the more beatable teams with legitimate national title aspirations. The Jayhawks' 11.1 made 3-pointers per game is second only to Marquette's 11.9 among high major programs, and they're connecting at a 41.4% clip, 14th in the nation as of Wednesday. But they simply can't get to the free throw line. Their 226 attempts through 16 games ranks 342nd among 351 Division I teams. Birdsong, Kansas' biggest problem lies at the free throw line. They've split games against Texas and Texas Tech, the Big 12's stingiest defenses against the three-pointer, defeating the Longhorns and falling against the Red Raiders. Back-to-back meetings this week against Kansas State and West Virginia, rated number 3 and number 4 in the Big 12 in defensive scoring and three-point defense, respectively, could highlight the deficiencies again. 19. Clemson 14-1, 3-0. Riding a 10-game winning streak, the Tigers, led by Marquise Reed 15.9 ppg and Dante Grantham 14.9 ppg and 7.3 rpg, on Thursday face an NC State squad that upset Duke last week. Saturday, Clemson hosts Miami before a 3-game stretch that includes road matchups against North Carolina and Duke. Coach Brad Brownell's team has looked good thus far, but its true mettle is about to be tested like never before. 18. Auburn 15-1, 3-0. The Tigers earned their first ranking in the AP poll since 2003, but they might be even better than their standing. Bruce Pearl is finally beginning to live up to the expectations Tigers fans had when he signed on to coach at Auburn 4 years ago. More, what's going right with Auburn? Auburn is filling it up, averaging 87.2 points per game, second best in the SEC, and leading the SEC in three-pointers made as of Wednesday with 153. The Tigers travel to Mississippi State on Saturday, 17. North Carolina 13-4, 2-2. The defending national champions have looked vulnerable against ranked opponents, going 1-3 with losses to Michigan State, Florida State and, most recently, Virginia, which limited UNC to its second lowest scoring output of the season at 49 points. They only scored 45 versus Sparty. But there's still more than enough firepower and veteran leadership in Chapel Hill with junior Luke May 18.2 ppg, 10.2 rpg and senior Joel Berry 17.6 ppg to rectify the wrongs as the Tar Heels face Notre Dame and Clemson in their next two games. 16. TCU 13-3, 1-3. The Horned Frogs are a 3-point overtime victory against Baylor away from being 0-4 in the Big 12. But TCU's conference record includes a 1-point defeat against Oklahoma, a 4-point loss at home against Kansas and an overtime setback versus Texas, the only games they've dropped all season. It's easy to tell why TCU makes coach Jamie Dixon proud. They rank or among the league's best in defensive rebounding, assist-to-turnover ratio and three-point field goal percentage. TCU has developed a formula for success that should bode well as it travels to Norman, Oklahoma, for a rematch with the Sooners. 15. Cincinnati 14-2, 3-0. Still in search of a win they can really hang their hats on, the Bearcats have been all business. During their current 7-game winning streak, they've won 6 by double digits and absolutely smothered opponents on defense, giving up 58.6 points per game. That's the second lowest total in the country. With grizzled vets such as junior Jacob Evans 13.7 ppg and senior Gary Clark 12.7 ppg, Cincinnati shouldn't have any trouble dispatching USF, losers of 4 straight. Saturday. Next Tuesday, the Bearcats will get it on with UCF, rated number 3 in the country in scoring defense, in a battle. Make the hearts of hoops purists melt. 14. Miami 13-2, 2-1. The Hurricanes reeled off 10 straight wins to start the season, downing then 12th-ranked Minnesota on the road in the process. But they've gone 3-2 in the last 5, a handful of contests that have all been decided by 10 or fewer points. DeCourcy, official Ted Valentine's threat to retire elicits no love. Lonnie Walker IV is thought by some to be a first-round NBA draft choice, but the 6'4" freshman is putting up just 8.1 points and 2.5 rebounds per game. His minutes and point production have decreased in each of Miami's last 3 games. It's time to put up or shut up for the Hurricanes, who travel to Clemson on Saturday and host Duke on Monday. 13. Arizona State 13-2, 1-2. It was all good about a week ago. At 12-0, the Sun Devils rose to number 3 in the AP poll and everyone was ready to label them the Warriors of college basketball the way they were shooting. Then, on January 4th, they lost to in-state rival Arizona. 3 days later, Colorado clipped them in overtime. A 3-point victory against Utah ended the skid, but thoughts that the Sun Devils could be a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament are on hold. They'll have a chance to get on the good foot again, hosting Oregon and Oregon State this week. 12. Xavier 15-3, 3-2. Xavier is legit. The Musketeers' pedigree, advancing to at least the Sweet 16 in 3 of the last 4 seasons, proves it. But their 9-point loss at home against unranked Providence last weekend, followed by an outright shellacking at Villanova, couldn't have come at a worse time. Saturday, they entertained Creighton before hosting St. John's and traveling to Seton Hall for an elite Big East showdown January 20th. It's a tough stretch, but SN preseason All-American Trevin Blewett and J.P. McCura are capable of seeing them through it. 11. Seton Hall 14-3, 3-1. Having already logged wins against Texas Tech, Louisville and Creighton, the Pirates have shown they're for real. With a quartet of scoring options, Ndesi Rodriguez 18.2 ppg, 5.3 rpg, Kadeen Carrington 14.5 ppg, 4.1 apg, 3.0 rpg, Angel Delgado 14.4 ppg, 11.6 rpg and Miles Powell 13.9 ppg. The Pirates are capable of contending in the Big East and beyond. 10. Wichita State 13-2, 3-0. The Shockers' two losses have come by a combined 9 points against Notre Dame with a healthy Bonzie Colson in Oklahoma, which is led by arguably the best guard in America, Trae Young. Greg Marshall's squad is more than ready for prime time in its first season in the American Conference. Wichita State should easily handle road trips to AQ Thursday and Tulsa Saturday. More. Wichita State faces a new challenge, high expectations 9. Arizona. It's okay to trust Arizona again. With a pair of SN preseason All-Americans and freshmen DeAndre Ayton and junior Alonzo Trier, they were tapped by many to run away with the Pac-12 on their way to the Final Four. But the wheels fell off the wagon when Arizona dropped 3 straight games in the battle for Atlantis. However, since falling to NC State, SMU and Purdue, the Wildcats have proved those outings were an aberration and not a sign of things to come, winning 9 in a row before being upended by Colorado this past Saturday. They host Oregon State and Oregon this week. 8. Purdue 16-2, 5-0. The Boilermakers have won 12 straight games and feature one of college basketball's most imposing physical presences in 7-2, 290-pound senior Isaac Haas 14.8 ppg. Carson Edwards 16.9 ppg leads Purdue in scoring, while Vincent Edwards and Dakota Mathias contribute a combined 27.1 points per game. After leaving Ann Arbor with a 70-69 win Tuesday night, the Boilermakers will put their streak on the line against Minnesota on Saturday. 7. Texas Tech 1-4-2-3-1. The Red Raiders have logged 4 victories against ranked opposition, beating Northwestern, Baylor, Nevada and Kansas, but how they've done it this season has been just as important as who they've defeated. The NCAA's 5th best defense, allowing a shade over 60 points per game, Texas Tech has limited opponents to 50 or fewer points on 4 occasions. The Red Raiders are holding Big 12 teams to 62.2 points per game heading into a defensive showdown on the road against West Virginia on Saturday. 6. Oklahoma 13-2, 3-1. Freshman sensation Trae Young, who leads the nation in scoring 29.2 ppg and assists 10.1 apg, isn't the only star on the Sooners. Christian James 42.7% and Brady Manick 41.4% are shooting it well from three-point range, and Cameron McGusty 37.0% isn't too far behind. Senior Kadeem Latin leads the Sooners, averaging 7.1 rebounds and 2.1 blocks per game. Sure, they have the sharpest knife in the box, but it's their total arsenal that makes them a threat every time they touch the floor. The Sooners face TCU at home Saturday. NBA Mock Draft 2018, Oklahoma's Trae Young flies into top 5. Duke 14-2, 2-2. Yes, the Blue Devils have lost 2 of their first 3 in the ACC. Yes, they're dead last in the ACC in defense, allowing 75.4 points per game. But no, that's not swaying us from believing they're still title contenders. They still can put the most talented starting 5 in the country on the floor with Marvin Bagley 22.1 ppg, 11.8 rpg, Grayson Allen 16.4 ppg, 4.3 apg, Wendell Carter Jr. 13.3 ppg, 8.6 rpg, Gary Trent Jr. 13.1 ppg and Trevin Duval 12.5 ppg, 6.5 apg. They lead the country in scoring at 93.9 points per game. The last time we checked, the team with the most points still wins. 4. Virginia 15-1, 4-0. There's not a whole lot to why Virginia is so good. The Cavs defend better than anyone in America and they don't make many mistakes. No one allows fewer points, 53, and no one turns the ball over less than the Cavaliers at just 9 turnovers per game. Their opponents shoot 36.2% from the field, the second lowest figure in the country. Virginia HASNT lost since West Virginia beat the Cavaliers, 68-61, in Morgantown on December 5. You guessed it, the 68 points are the most Virginia has given up all season. 3. Villanova 15-1, 3-1. College basketball has always been about guard play, and Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges might arguably form the best backcourt in the country. The two can flat out score. Prior to Wednesday's blowout of Xavier, they had combined for 37.2 points and 7.3 assists per game while shooting a collective 55.4% from the field, including 47.3 from three-point range. More 3 takeaways from Villanova's rout of Xavier. Villanova was also 5th in the nation in fewest turnovers and 4th in assists to turnover ratio, both of which can be attributed to Brunson and Bridges. 2. West Virginia 15-1, 4-0. Texas A&M ran the Mountaineers out of their own gym in West Virginia's season opener, but the Mountaineers haven't dropped a game since the 23-point trouncing. Their 15-game win streak includes victories against Virginia and Oklahoma. Everybody's eating under Bob Huggins, in his 11th year at the helm. 6 Mountaineers average at least 9 points per game. And, of course, everyone's getting after it on defense. Press Virginia's 164 steals through 16 games ranks 8th in the nation. 1. Michigan State 16-2, 4-1. Sparty is big and balanced. Like a football team that excels on offense, defense and special teams, their isn't much Michigan State doesn't do exceptionally well. The Spartans have shown they aren't invincible recently, falling by 16 to Ohio State on the road and needing overtime to avoid an upset against Rutgers on Wednesday. But they're still anchored by a pair of potential lottery picks in freshman Jaren Jackson Jr. 11.1 ppg, 6.4 rpg, 3.1 bpg and sophomore Miles Bridges 16.5 ppg, 7.5 rpg, 3.1 apg. DeCourcy, why Miles Bridges decided to stay at Michigan State. They also roster star contributors such as point guard Cassius Winston, who leads the Big Ten in assists at 7.2 per game and is second in three-point field goal percentage at 52.5. Nick Ward 14.8 ppg, 7.7 rpg, third in the nation in field goal percentage at 71.8% and Joshua Langford 13.8 ppg. Michigan State leads the nation in total blocks 144, is second in rebounding margin 12.8 and third in rebounds per game 43.4. We're not letting a couple of minor hiccups deter us from seeing the big picture.